Hello everybody, welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League, Season 12, Week 6. This is Sparta versus Panic at the Rosh pit.
Yes.
Dire team ban.
And this is no Warlock.
Radiant team ban.
Panic at the Rosh pit currently first overall, as far as the teams go.
Yeah, it's true.
Though there is a bit of an asterisk on that, in that two different points earlier in the season they played teams in unfortunate, shots to train, unfortunate circumstances. Most notably, taking on Radiant Streets when they had two stand-ins.
This is true.
So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep that momentum coming up. Sparta immediately
But then
knocking out
there's
that
also
PL.
Sparta, who's only won against like bottom teams, so.
Yeah, that's true. I guess this is two different sets of teams with something to really prove here. Again, while Sparta's only won against small teams, they've certainly shown themselves very well against backdoor boys. You know, even if they weren't able to get the Duke there, the fact that they put on two very competitive games against what is, I think in a lot of ways, arguably the top team in the league, right? It's a very good showing for them. Very good showing. Even in spite of everything. Nope, take it back. Sparta, sucks. That's a joke, shows Sparta.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
The silencer ban by Panic at the Rosh pit's a bit interesting.
Dire team pick.
The first pick of Ember Spirit by Panic at the Rosh pit, perhaps even more interesting.
EG drafting?
That is a mark of supreme confidence. That is a mark of not
really
giving one about Jackie Chen, I think.
10 seconds remaining.
That could backfire on them easily, though I guess they always could move him out to safe lane if they needed to.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Disruptor, much more conventional pick for this phase of the draft.
Yep. Always good. Can't think of a situation where it wouldn't be.
When he's going to be constantly accidentally glimpsing people away from danger. That's it. And that's a very narrow
Well, he does
definition.
not do that, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like glimpse when it, like, there are times when it looks like glimpse is safe, but it's really not actually a safe thing to do. But that's so rare. It's such a niche little situation. But certainly having Ember Spirit makes it easy to pray even if you mess it up.
Radiant team ban.
Alright, OD.
What do you think it's going to be?
Is our mid lane in the first phase? Could be.
10 seconds remaining.
We'll have to see the other picks.
OD really only rivaled by Spirit Breaker as far as flex in this tournament in particular. You know, like Spirit Breaker, we've seen him in all but 2 roles. We've seen him in everything but 1, and in 5.
Dire
Yeah.
team ban.
We're also seeing no Doom. It's very interesting. Again, like with the Silencer ban, I can't really think of many times Panic plays that old Doom.
10 seconds
What
remaining.
comes to your head when you see a Doom ban? Who do you immediately think of when you see the Doom go down?
Not sure, maybe. Like a Bristle or something?
Yeah, Bristle hates Doom. You know who else hates Doom? Faceless Void.
Like a Pit Lord Void, yeah. Something like that.
Also the Void Spirit. Spirits in general, really.
5 seconds
Yep.
remaining.
The better question is
Silencers
really
makes
who
me
do we...
think channeled ultis.
Yep. The better question is who can you think of that doesn't want to see Doom or Troll Warlord that Sparta's going to bring to the draft?
Not sure.
10 seconds remaining.
We shall see.
5 seconds remaining.
Troll ban probably means minimal
Still
CC
point
team.
towards a bristle because he doesn't have CC and also Troll's a natural silver edge purchaser.
It's true. And it would not be unheard of for Sparta to be banning around Big Boy LaCroix.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
If it is a bristle, we can safely say what lane OD is not going to be, unless they're going to be trying the old one bristle against Panic at the Rosh pit. You know, Embra's little animation that he does gets really tiring when you get to see it like 50 times like this. No LC, it's another bristle.
Points towards bristle.
Dire team pick.
Goes low with OD as well. Goes low with OD, goes alright with the Ogre. Panic's thinking
Radiant
Kunkka.
team pick.
Crystal Maiden.
Alright, it's your silencer ban maybe?
Likely. She's probably going to struggle against OD, who's going to be able to, you know, presumably OD going to be building that meteor hammer, going to be able to drop the ball on her head pretty much the whole
10
game.
seconds remaining.
It's going to be
Of course,
very...
that's a long time it takes for the meteor hammer to come out. And
True,
during
but if he
that
calls
entire
it,
time she's ulting. Yeah.
If he calls it, she can't do anything about it. Plus, he doesn't necessarily even need to do that. He can just put her in jail. Ogre can just stun her. She's going to be facing some adversity there, for sure.
Yeah, definitely needs a glimmer.
It is going to be good with the disruptor, though. You know, just being able to all people are in jail like that. Sparta running low on reserve time pretty early on the draft here.
Yeah, just sinking this draft out.
Yeah.
Radiant
Might be a
team
mistake to
pick.
put so much, picking up an Earthshaker, which is weird because they banned PL. Maybe they're thinking Terrablade's coming up for Panic.
Potentially.
Would be a bad idea, or just Manta buyers in general.
10 seconds
Right.
remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Ursa does point towards a very specific answer.
Right, points at potentially a Medusa. Well, like I said, Earthshaker does. Earthshaker actually somebody that Medusa has a little bit more trouble with than I think people really realize, especially considering what's something every Medusa in the world's gonna buy.
Right, yeah. Manta.
Yeah, you can capitalize on that fairly well. TikTok is actually the Doom.
Alright.
Or not the Doom, it's actually the Void there.
Yeah, Faceless Void.
And his goofy ass tribal tattoos.
I suppose it could combo pretty well with the Shaker OD. And, you know, he can get bloodlusted, so it's not a terrible Void lineup.
Yeah, Void's usually not the most ideal guy to play outside of one specific circumstance, if you can bring Invoker in with him. But this lineup could use him fairly well, I think. There's nothing really Panic has to say about it yet. They do have time and options here.
Radiant
Yeah.
team back.
Ooh, that's
Not
not something
great
Void
for
likes to see.
yeah, not great for Mr. Void. Sparta thinks it might be a Wraith King, which is another thing Ursa counters fairly well, so...
Yep.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And Panic has last pick too, so they can get away with maybe not banning AM,
Radiant team
kind of showing their hand.
Right. Yeah, because it's
I've
not like
noticed that happening
Sparta.
a lot lately with Medusa lineups. Like when you're picking Medusa, you don't ban anti-mage if you have last pick.
Right.
So the idea
Yeah.
is if they pick AM, like
10
anticipating a Medusa
seconds
pick,
remaining.
you can just pick something else.
5 seconds remaining.
So there's no reason to do it unless you're not picking less.
It's not like anti-mage fits on Sparta's lineup anyway, so...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what are they gonna do, send him mid? Void 3?
Dire team ban.
No Viper, huh? That's interesting. Sparta getting in their heads, maybe Ember Spirit's gonna be one.
Potentially.
I don't know if that's a call necessarily.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
No Pit Lord, huh?
Yeah, that's a Big Boy LaCroix classic. Ban
Yep.
2 of Big Boy classics actually with the CK there too. It gives him pretty much one option. We'll see if he'll take
Dire
it.
team pick.
Yeah, certainly will.
Rather forecasted with the bands, that one, yeah. Bristleback is going to have a lot to say here because it's going to be, outside of Axe specifically, nobody's really got a great answer for him, and Axe is not really
Yeah.
somebody you necessarily want trying to tackle the Bristleback. Nothing in the world is worse than hitting Q with a bunch that's not already on you, and Bristleback just beats you up and kills you anyway.
Right, but you can also force Bristle to face your team.
It's true. Oh. Brief technical difficulty there.
Oh, there you go. That has to happen once every set.
Well, of course. Yep. Axe can make him face, though Bristleback can also just knock him over, even in that case. It's an interesting little scenario there. And it is Medusa, after all.
Select your heroes.
Yep.
Medusa is going to be potentially in some trouble here early on. You know, if Bristleback's able to get some stun on Medusa, and then the Chrono drops on her, what's she gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Tell you what she's gonna do. Die.
Unless she manages to hold first, yeah, or if X, you know, kind of plays more of like a defend Medusa strategy.
Yeah. Well, even if Axe wants to do the defend Medusa strat, you know, there is a lot of playing around him here, I think. Especially with some of these other fellas here, like the OD can really just knock Axe right out of the equation. Just put him away
Right.
for so long, disable blink.
Especially after like eggs, yeah.
Yeah. Ogre Magi has like a big
I
bottle
mean,
of
Sparta's
fluid.
in big trouble late, I'll say that.
Yeah, that's true. This is definitely going to be one of those win it early sorts of games. Void doesn't even really scale to Ember Spirit's level, let alone Medusa's. I would say at least with Void and Ember, it's like pretty equivalent, if nothing else, and a lot of it comes down to execution, but Medusa, No, sorry, Bob. There's definitely going to be fights in this game if this goes on long enough where Void can Chrono Medusa in the most ideal circumstance possible, not kill her, and be forced to retreat.
They need big wins early. If they go like equal early, I don't think it's enough.
Big wins, Lacrenz.
Expertise from the experts.
On the other hand, they
that's
definitely
that's
do.
the title of our cast actually.
What's that? Big wins,
Expertise
Lacrenz?
from the
Oh,
experts.
expertise from the experts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell you this much. They definitely are in a good position to get some early wins in. The actual lineup for Panic is pretty bad early on. Axe in particular is in a very strange spot because, you know, Axe is a good mid-game hero, but not like the beginning of mid-game. Axe is going to take till
Right.
like, you know, 15 to 20 to start being a
30
real
seconds
threat
remaining.
for the most part, unless he gets a ball in lane phase.
Yeah, their only early threats are the supports.
Yeah. Disruptor is
Disruptor's really
not very
only
scary. He's just
he's only an early threat with someone else.
right. So he
And
can
I
he can block you in
assume
for a CM ult though. That's not. It's going to be so rare it's going to happen. They actually have a pretty good lineup to deal with that. Like Void can just backtrack out of jail. Bristleback can just tank it with his face. OD can just put himself in jail. 2 for 2 on the runes here. Nothing too special happening. I don't know what OD's courier is doing up here. Just watching out. Just making sure
Yeah,
nobody's trying to.
planning to go to secret shop.
Yeah.
If he's rushing Meteor Hammer, it would make sense.
Sure is. I mean, no surprise there. Let's do the traditional calls. Here we go. OD getting a little run over here, mid. Before we do that, what do you think of the OD and Ember matchup?
Have been denied.
Depends on play.
I feel like OD might have been flexed in mid. Does not feel like that was originally the plan there.
Yeah, potentially.
I think they picked up, you know, potentially picked up the Shaker as a soft ban for Terribly when they realized they had him still in the pool, and that just had to flex him around. So, Giraffe, aka the Beatus, pause 1 for This Is Sparta. Well, this is happening. Can't catch a break here. Pause 1 for This Is Sparta, currently on the Faceless Void. Pause 2, Jackie Chen, captain of the team, currently on the OD. Pause 3, standout player of the team, Big Boy LaCroix. Big Box LaCroix, Big Boy LaCroix on the Bristleback LaCroix. Pause 4, Askeltor 3 on the Earthshaker. And pause 5, Warcarp on Ogre Magi. Panic at the Rosh Pit. Pause 1, you've got Kai Tang on the Medusa. Pause 2, Trash Boat on the Ember Spirit. Pause 3, Banana Stand on the Axe. Pause 4, Boss on the Disruptor, captain of the team. Pause 5, Comrade Chris, currently on the CM.
Yep.
And we're going to be seeing these guys live this week, Panic at the Rosh Pit. So,
That's true.
something to look forward to. This is definitely going to be one of those lanes where Bristleback is going to heavily rely on raindrops. His ability to live or die, succeed or fail in this lane is going to be very largely based around them.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
You know, that was a great example of what just that little sequence of events there. You know, that was potentially a great Earthshaker stun to go in on, but without the drops, it's just too scary. You know, it's just too high risk.
Right.
Earthshaker just using Fissure to mess with the vision here. It's kind of funny.
Yep.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Medusa gets one of the last hits out of there. Just on snakes. It's always annoying when you're one of these supports. Or just in the off lane in general, you know. Big Boy LaCroix in an unusually weak position to start off here. Usually Big Boy comes out swinging, but this game he had to nice misclick. This game he had to come in. Good
Nice.
voice line for that sequence of events.
Yeah. Love to see that.
Big Boy starting out in a position of weakness here. Usually comes out swinging. This time he's not really been able to stand up to all this magic damage. You can definitely tell not only he's going to have to get a very early raindrops, rely on those very heavily. He's also likely going to really need to get a cloak. This would certainly be a good game for the rarely seen Eternal Shroud, I think, on Bristleback. There's not enough magic damage to worry that much about. There's certainly enough to want to tank through if you're the 3 and turn that into mana.
Yeah.
2 different lanes. People are very dead here. Just massive, just slaughterhouse all over the
A
lanes.
very, very aggressive laning strategy for Panic, which makes sense. As it's as I said, Sparta needs big wins early to, you know, even have a chance late.
See him here, just running through the woods. He doesn't want a Fisher here, though.
Nah. Okay, he will eventually, but doesn't have any aftershock, so it's gonna be a little difficult.
Shame is going to at least have to take the Walk of Shame back home.
Yeah. Give his bristle a little space.
Give him some time to get solo XP, give him some space to beat up the Medusa here. It's going to be a
He
little
can
hard
do it pretty
pressed.
effectively, as you can see here. He can do it pretty scarily effectively, actually.
Yeah, goes right down here.
First bloody blood.
Yeah,
Not
he can
often
play
to
there,
see a
but,
Bristle get the first blood. Level 5, no snot. But
Good
this
play there
time,
by the ES. Just completely chases Comrade Chris out of the lane and basically lets that happen.
right. It's very interesting. If I was, for example, a team going up against pretty heavy odds this week, I'd be writing down things like that, certainly. Ogre Magi is missing. It's not true, he's right
Sure
there.
is. Is that Grandmaster Disruptor? I think I misidentified that logo as a Grandmaster every cast.
You're
but-
gonna have to learn what the rules are someday.
You
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I'm never
yeah,
gonna
well,
bother.
What does irrelevant icons mean? I
Yeah.
think it's one under Grandmaster.
Ugh, good use of the snakes there.
Yeah, for sure. That's a very annoying lane
Dire
ability.
structures are fortified.
I believe for snakes, usually the rule for Bristleback is that Bristleback only cares. Sometimes I like to just turn around and let my passive farm the creep wave for me. Bristleback usually cares only about where the original source of the damage is, right? So he only cares about Medusa's position, usually. But I believe with snakes, it's like the last thing it bounced off of instead.
Radiant's middle tower
I
Something like
believe.
that.
I could be wrong. But I believe that's how it works. It certainly looked like it was doing enough damage for that to be the case. That did not look like a bristlebacked snake, for sure.
Ooh, just barely.
G-Raf baiting out the call there.
Yep.
Axe has something to his buddy Disruptor. Really thought Big Boy was going to just deny his own career for a second there. I would be very surprised if
Not
that was
possible.
possible, but it would be
Yeah.
funny. This Earthshaker might be denied from life here, just barely going down to the very last auto from Medusa there.
Right.
Unfortunate shake up for him, no pun intended.
And Deuce is gonna pick up the one there, so it's gonna be a little more difficult for Bristle to go on her.
Yep.
It's sad when a 200 gold item completely counters you.
The 200 gold item only really counters you that hard if you're
has been killed.
if you're lacking in the snot, which at this point Big Boy still is. With the snot, it doesn't matter how many wand charges you got. You're still sitting there with 0 armor and Quill Spray doing about 1 trillion damage to you. You know, there's a point where it's basically inevitable. Speaking of inevitable, it was almost inevitable. It might still be inevitable. That Void goes down here.
Okay. Good disruptor play. I think he's fine though.
Just barely,
Yeah.
barely squeezes out there. Ouch.
Timed real well from the disruptor there.
Yeah. Also had a very good snap call from Void there. Could have been very disastrous for him if he had timed that badly.
Oh, X is
Yeah, Axe is
easily gonna be
very
running
brave.
over here. OD's here though.
Yeah.
Checky Chen just gonna.
Come in with a meteor there. Just really drop it on Axe.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Sad. That happens, you know? It's fine.
Oh dear. And then he tips Axe, I guess, in anticipation of the tip coming for him.
It's a level 1 chrono, it's not gonna do anything anyway.
Middle tower is under attack.
I mean, hey, if he had gotten it off before Disruptor ult, or Disruptor ult, OD ult, then would have saved the OD ult.
Yeah, that's true.
Dire's
Oh,
top
certainly.
tower is under attack.
Big
Yeah,
boy,
communication wasn't there in the heat of the moment. It happens.
Big boy soul rings for literally no reason. I always love the old "I'm full on mana, soul ring anyway" trick.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
No, it's a very interesting thing, the old 3 Soul Ring. I never really dove too deep on the when to buy it, how to use it sort of thing, which is rare, because I usually go pretty in-depth on that
You
sort of thing.
you just buy it if you have enough HP regen to make up for it.
Well, sort of. Depends on how that HP regen comes in, how reliable you can make it, how badly you need that mana.
Like a DK is pretty safe in buying one because he has a pretty bad mana pool, pretty
Right.
like high usage of mana and high HP regen.
Axe is in a unique position because on one hand, he has well more than enough regen to sustain Soul Ring, but on the other hand, he probably shouldn't buy one anyway because he just doesn't go through that much mana. Especially if he has CM on his lineup, which he does.
Yep.
It's really the use of it is, I think, a little bit more the interesting side of things, but the win to get it is a little deeper than if you had the sustain for it, I think. This Raptor getting just chased through the jungle here by
Radiant's bottom tower
both the
is under
supports
attack.
on Sparta. I almost said on Nagas for some reason. Shout out to NWA, who is not in this
Shout out to
match.
Gotham.
Tower is under
Yeah, yeah.
Oh boy, trash boat.
Yeah, G-Raf in a very
find
bad
himself a
spot
void.
here.
under attack.
He's getting eaten by the Ember Spirit. Very casually. That's not too great. One thing I should note, by the way, reaching the end of lane phase here. Oh, missed a kill. Gonna get kicked out the desk. Oh, it's okay. I missed a kill, then Axe missed an ult. And then he got tipped. Ogre
boy.
stopped running to tip him, and he still lived. Oh, no, baby. Oh, that's sad.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Seems he's gonna stick around here.
Yeah, he's waiting for his
Have a
buddies to show
bunch
up.
of
And
response.
buddies will show. Second Ogre pops out of the jungle. I think Banana Stand smells something going on here. But he
Yeah,
is running back in for him, though.
certainly is.
Now he's going to be running for his miserable life. Gonna try TPing. The Ogre's cut off, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, what a call!
Under attack.
The W there.
But
That was a
call
good
might not
example
go,
of good example of what I was talking about earlier there, where you know, Bristle can still just beat you up when you call him.
Oh yeah, that was certainly certainly pretty rough there.
I like how that creep ran up to that camp for literally no other reason but just make it annoying to try and get the last hits on that camp.
Yeah.
Just make you
Got an
sweat.
Ember coming down here. Thinking about coming
No.
down here.
He just wanted the
changes
rune
his
going.
mind.
He got a DD. He's got a DD there, but it's pretty hard to break through Bristle with a setup like this.
Yep.
The thing about low snot for Bristle is if you go low snot, on one hand it means you're a lot less likely to get those kills. On the other hand, it makes you a lot more dangerous when you're retreating. It makes you a lot harder to kill. He is going to find Void here, though.
Time stops. For no
Oh, there you go. Stop the chase, dude.
Dyer's middle
Oh boy.
Ouch. Ogre Magic, get the jungle item. Yay, got it!
Yeah, got the
So we will not be talking about another Sparta leaving items on the ground scenario this
And he
week.
got the deny on himself.
Oh, he did! That's
Yeah.
very good little sequence from Ogre there.
Radiant's
Warcarp,
Always
bottom
fun.
tower is
Warcarp
under
wanting to
attack.
get shouted out by the commentary team this week.
Bristle's gonna get taken all the way under his own tower here. And then sent back. Alright.
Dyer's bottom tower is
Axe
under
is going to
attack.
get taken under his own tower by Bristleback, rather.
Right, taken under
Right.
the other tower is what I meant to say.
Notably, old Kai still hanging out here in the jungle. He's doing whatever.
Yep.
It's been untouched since the start of the game, really. If you look at that net worth chart, mamma mia, that's not what you want to see Medusa at this point in the game, especially if you're early.
Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
It's definitely time to drop most of what else you're doing and just be all over Kai. I mean, this is a scenario where I think old Bristle could actually just leave poor Ember Spirit here alone. especially considering the lack of ability to do much about him. Just constantly be invading the triangle and looking through the jungle, trying to get offensive wards out. Just looking for the, Medusa there.
Had an answer to mid lane here a little bit, but
Oh, Bristle.
oh no,
Bristle is in a very
blocked
bad
in by the
position.
arena too.
But man, that OD ult just immediately makes him think again. They're still chasing him through this. This is
Man,
very
still alive.
dangerous.
Tower is under attack.
He
Oof.
lived through all that. All right.
Yeah, that's the that's that early hood for you. Early hood and Vanguard. That was a lot to drop on a kill that didn't happen for the early game team, but as I said, that all kind of started with a guy that Bristle can't really kill that well, with, which is Trash Boat. So far, it seems like the strat is, you know, put pressure on Ember Spirit, put pressure on the Axe. You know, how about the side lanes? I think really the better battle plan when you're against a team like Panic at the Rosh pit. Don't let the stink come off of that pause one. Be on them.
Yeah.
Be on them and just never leave.
Seeing pause ones.
Yeah, G-Raf just getting casually picked, just kind of wandering around near secret shop there. A lot of vision as well. It's another important thing, vision. Definitely important thing against a team like this. Oh, good save from the OD. Very good save.
Just
Meteor
completely
Hammer hits
shuts down
nobody,
that
but
Goliath.
very good dissuasion there. Very good way to turn that. As I was saying, yeah.
Selfish.
Stick on them like crazy glue on your fingers after you do anything with it. And I think you will do no wrong against Panic at the Rosh pit. What do you think, Randy?
Yeah,
Would you say Panic is a generally pause one oriented team?
pretty much, yeah. Although it is a generally a pause one oriented meta, so there's a
I mean, every meta is a pause one oriented
Oh, sure.
meta to some degree.
gonna run after. Hey, they heard you here.
But yeah, but that
Oh,
Disruptor
boy.
doing a good job breaking up
Everyone
the,
is here
state of affairs.
instantly.
Dyer's middle tower has
Yep.
fallen.
Just defend that Medusa.
Right, 5 protect 1 on Panic for sure at this point. Well, 4 anyway. Old Axe is just kind of on his own time over here.
Yeah, taking some heat.
Certainly a good showing there that even though going after, going deep for the pause 1 is a good idea against a team like this. Going under the towers is not, because they are very aware of their team sort of structure. They like to play things, and just dive in tower, not a good idea. Triangle, jungle, it's more like, it's a better state of affairs, I think.
Right.
Oh, Banana Stamp finally died. How nice. Probably,
maybe
yep,
get some-
just casually ulted by OD.
Get some vision up in the triangle, especially because that's where she's gonna be,
Radiant's
taking
bottom
stacks.
tower is under
Right.
attack.
Contest those stacks too, for sure.
Radiant structures are fortified.
It's definitely a very Havoc-oriented game so far. I'm missing a lot of kills because it's just like things are just happening all over the map at all times. It feels like.
Dyer's
One thing
top
Sparta is
tower
doing good
has
here
fallen.
is Sparta is kind of
Radiant's middle tower is
putting
under
global
attack.
pressure on, making definitely making Panic think about where they're going to be, what they're doing at all times.
Yep.
Because Sparta can kinda be everywhere, anywhere they want. Axe here.
Gonna
Maybe going in a little deeper than he wanted to.
potentially.
It's Meteor.
Didn't know the OD was there.
Well, he can't quite decide who he wants to go in on.
That's fine.
Finds a massive stack here. The Void
Yeah,
does
they
not really
certainly
have Void doesn't really have any way to do
Us
this.
trying
quickly.
to rally the troops here.
CM just getting
Okay, good
hammered.
arena.
By the way, Earthshaker just died somewhere.
Oh, I thought that was gonna be a
Clemson's
turtle.
not stopped the Meteor Hammer. Void chasing down the Disruptor. But no.
I
No
don't
avail
know
there.
their TP in here. I believe it's
Fortified.
okay.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
bot is probably the answer to the mystery of where Earthshaker died in the middle of that fight.
Yeah.
Like I said, very fun global game there for you. Need multicam like TI. Need an eye on everybody at any given time. Boy, looking at the Ember Spirit here, kind of vaguely know where he is even without the vision.
Yep.
He's looking at Void. He just whiffed chains for some reason, but Void still doesn't want a piece of that. Disruptor at this point is causing them a whole lot of problems. Disruptor, a very good hero for that 5 protect 1 strategy that Panic is going for this game.
Right.
Very efficient at just getting the team to just turn. You know, all Disruptor's doing basically is just disengage, just forcing them to leave.
Yep.
Sparta does have a good lineup to ignore it, but not good enough where they can just say, who cares? Ember Spirit just running from the... Well, that's unlucky.
I like Boss's Disruptor play too, especially with the arena. He knows that he doesn't necessarily need to get someone in the arena, he can just put it somewhere to like block the fight off.
Right. Medusa is super screwed here. Goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
Just gets jumped by all 5 and annihilated.
They just paced guy.
Trash Boat immediately.
Oh, Ember.
Oh, looked like he was getting out of there. He just comes right back in. Though, with success in doing so, it might be a little hard to get much done here.
Such a crazy
Void
fight.
flying in.
The Chrono.
Yep, gets the Chrono, but CM's not in it. Able to root him. The question still of how far is he going to be able to get?
Oh.
Oh, D! Puts Void in jail.
He wanted the Ultra. He wants the
CM.
Rampage, it's looking like. Oh,
Actually
it's
diving
necessary,
really
though.
far for this.
They're diving for the Rampage. I can respect that. Oh, sad.
And fails to get it, gets killed under T4. That is greed. You can't be greedy. You can't be greedy against a lineup like this, or else that's gonna happen to you. Oh, that's a bit of a shame, actually. That was a very, very good fight from them. That was everything they needed, but they went too deep trying to just go for that Rampage, and ended up paying the price for it pretty heavily. Comrade Chris,
Wow,
not an OD
shitting that
fan.
OD.
Call down the thunder.
Boss has nothing to add to this, but the fact that he calls down the thunder.
Now, nobody wins.
Why does CM have a line for "now nobody wins"? If she denies the ancient?
I guess so. I guess in a situation like that where both teams gonna lose heavily but don't gain much.
Yeah.
I
Offensive
don't know, when
smoke.
would you normally say that?
Offensive
That's a good question.
smoke, definitely a very powerful tool against a lineup like Panic at the Rosh pit.
Yep.
The
take
offensive
out
smoke,
Big Warrior.
very powerful tool for them as well. They do have to drop about everything in the world to kill Bristleback, but he certainly goes down in the end, and it's hard to say it wasn't worth it.
I think it's a deny line.
Probably. I like the immediate smoke right after the kill on Bristle to hide where they're going next. Though it's not going to mean much when Sparta is just moving as far away from them as humanly possible.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting little
Yeah.
sandwich here
Catch.
we're making. Kai gonna start the
boy,
fight
too
in with an
salty.
ult. Just makes him scatter. Does casually get the ogre.
Oh.
Who, oh, that was on
He
OD.
kept little
OD
BKB.
BKB'd it.
Yep.
Earthshaker getting picked off in the back line as this chase continues. Ember Spirit's so slow from that Void W.
They really don't have that good of an answer for the Dusa at this point. Maybe Chrono this?
Yep. But unfortunately, he just barely whiffs the axe. All he gets is a disruptor. It doesn't really matter when axe just splats, though. Unfortunately, Axe really desperately needed some magic defense on himself this game with the OD. Without it, he really does not have much to say.
Take this Rosh though.
It's also very rare to say this, but this probably was actually not a Vanguard game for Axe. I guess Crimson for Void is not actually too bad. But old Bristleback is going to be doing most of the fizz damage for a long time. Vanguard does not do anything to him. You know, as much as it sucks going without that Vanguard, certainly some more armor actual items here. Like I feel like I'm saying this all the time recently. And an early Shivas would have done them a lot of good here. At least saved them some tears in some of these early fights. Still, he's got a lot to build for, so I can't say it's like I can't say it's like a guaranteed incorrect thing to do. I'm sure it's probably mostly for the region. Ember Spirit just chasing around Earthshaker down here. It seems like these two have had so many collisions at this bottom tower. Trashboat and Asculter must be friends or something, because they always keep meeting up in these strange places, so Earthshaker's gonna have a lot more friends visiting him soon enough. Think he sees it, think he figures out what's coming for him, wisely gets the hell out of dodge. Speaking of dodge, Disruptor, gonna try and dodge the Bristleback there. Just sends him right out of town. Meanwhile, Medusa, again, just still very casually able to farm up here, pretty much unmolested, while the rest of Sparta just kind of hanging out looking for fights. Panic doing a great job denying Sparta of getting actual team fights in at this point, you know. For the last 10 minutes, it feels like pretty much every time we see them, it's just trying to get picks. You know, only fighting when they have at least one man advantage. Got 5-man smoke coming in, though. Did not get caught under vision. A lot of interesting ways to go. Unfortunately,
Assume they're looking for Medusa in the triangle.
Yeah, target number 1 not home. Yep, too late for that. Gonna find Axe in the triangle, at least. Probably not who they wanted to find, but you know, free kill. What? Okay, that was not worth the Echo Slam, I can tell you that much. Good save by the OD there, just protecting the Void from everything bad that would follow that up.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I think maybe Greed, again, kind of getting the best of Sparta in that last encounter there.
Radiant's top tower has
I can
fallen.
certainly tell you this much, they're going to be missing that Echo Slam for the next 100 seconds. Especially with something brewing here. Especially with Medusa being part of the something that's brewing here.
I don't think Dusa cares about Echo Slam, to be fair.
Oh, you better believe she does.
about
I believe she's got Manta already. Yep, she does have Manta already, so she would care about it, at least had this go not backfired so miserably. Bristleback just running around, just trying to split everybody up in the back line to really very little avail. Void getting walloped here before even getting Chrono off. Splitting up well to try and avoid it. Did not want immediately to get Chronoed off here. They're in a very good position for it, but he's just afraid!
Yeah, and I would be too. They don't have follow-up.
Big Boy's actually hanging out not too far from that with Ags. Actually would have been pretty good follow-up with that. The ability to sneeze on everybody in that Chrono. Could have probably done quite a bit there. But ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. That was, again, you know. I think a little, hate to say it, think a little greed on Sparta's part. Just so eager to try and get the Medusa. You know, that's an important thing when you're trying to deal with a one-centered team. You can't let that, well, it is definitely, you know,
Oh boy.
an absolute requirement. Oh, Bristle just getting chopped to pieces here. Earthshaker getting chopped up too. This is getting tough.
Falling apart.
Radiant's middle
Think,
tower has fallen.
I think at this point, even though it's not even 30 minutes, that window of opportunity for Sparta closing very dramatically. As I was saying, you know, even though getting that one is a very important objective, you cannot close your eyes to the rest of the team around them. You know, there will be situations where you're just gonna have to dive out, fight another day for her. Old Medusa there. I feel like they're kind of just saying every chance we get it or we need to take. Not necessarily the option when Ember Spirit's pulling off a pretty good game, you know?
Right.
Just do not, even though they are the early team, they just do not have that kind of power, especially if they're not able to consistently get the Chronos off like they need to. Right here, Doctor, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's see, what do you think? How long does a patient have to live here? Is it terminal?
That's pretty terminal, dude. I mean, it's a 6K net worth lead over anyone else for Medusa. 30 minutes. What's that gonna be? 40 minutes? I don't know if this is possible.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Ooh.
attack.
Doctor of Dota giving a very grim prognosis here. I do think there are some ways to at least buy yourself some time.
Has fallen.
Like I said, Medusa already
Right, but
having
buying
that
time
meta.
is good for Medusa.
It's true. Well, buy yourself some time in which you can actually win the game is what I mean. You know, buy yourself some downtime so you can get some push in, get some objectives out, and start closing that gap.
Oh boy, OD.
OD just getting bullied here. Completely chased down by the Ember Spirit. It's a very good attempt at the save from Ogre there. Just not
Yep.
quite what they need. They're going to get Axe in the back lines, but again, down goes the Earthshaker.
They did get Ember, so that's good.
Getting Ember a very good start here.
Although it's
They're
probably not a
retreating.
good sign that they're going even in 4v5 fights.
They're going even. And, well, in fairness, that was pretty much a 4v4. Void really did not do anything there,
Right.
basically. Showed up for like a little bit of that, but was basically absent from that fight. So going even on a fight like that is actually, like, predominantly a good thing, I would say. You can see there, Void. Earthshaker as well, just kind of went in and died. It's definitely a game where I feel like Earthshaker has largely been written out. It's very unfortunate. Earthshaker, I think, was picked as a soft ban for a pick that just didn't end up happening. Earthshaker is probably here for Terrorblade. No Terrorblade. Sad day. I can definitely understand why. Seen a lot of Terrorblade from Kai in the recent weeks.
Oh, Bristle.
Yep, Bristle just getting annihilated in the Disruptor ult. Bristle going for the BKB here, not BKB, for the Heart of Tarrasque again. Actually, kind of a greedy move. Hate to say it. I think at this point the clear answer to at least a large part of Bristleback's issues is BKB here. I mean, how many fights are just ruined for him by just being stuck in Disruptor jail? Seems like the majority of them. Hack's going for the BM voice lines. Sparta hanging out for the, not Sparta, the Panic of the Rosh bit hanging out for their namesake here. A little bit quiet. I think Ember might have been
follow
actually
Void there.
trying to bait Chrono there.
Yeah. Panic again, you know, keeping that that vision up.
Right.
Maybe one of the better vision teams in the league. Seem to always have it where they need it.
Oh, for sure.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
This could be an opportunity for Void here if he's brave.
Fortified.
Yeah, well, Ember is gonna make it a little difficult.
Tick-tock.
Oh,
Got
got
Ember
him.
Spirit. Unfortunately, did not get the Medusa there. And the counter defensive comes in immediately. Void just getting hammered by the 2 and under club here. Axe going in for more. Gets the Earthshaker. Likely going to shake him out.
Oh man.
Axe getting annihilated by OD. OD actually coming in
Ember's
pretty
dead.
strong here. Knocking out Axe,
Oh,
knocking
boy,
out Ember,
triple
knocking out
kill.
Medusa. Very short order. Comrade Chris looking to escape, barely does.
Another Ultra.
Bottom tower has fallen.
Comrade Chris getting away with only just a fraction.
Alright, if they can do that a couple more times, then my prognosis
Dire's
changes.
bottom tower is under attack.
I'm not sure what happened to Medusa in that fight. She was more killable than expected.
Well, I mean, there's a pretty simple answer to that one. You know, I'm a doctor
Dire's middle
today.
tower is under
Here's the here's a diagnosis: lack of BKB in the diet.
Dire's structures are fortified.
No BKB against OD, who has one himself. He was just able to make that really bad for them really quickly.
Dire's middle tower Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Sparta taking this time, using it as good as they possibly can, just taking out every objective in sight here. Earthshaker is going to get probably killed here by Axe. Nobody's really close enough to do anything about this, unfortunately.
Sad.
Actually turn from this tower here. Turn very heavily. Not very confident about taking a fight here. They're pretty confident about taking Void, or not taking Void, taking Rosh. And I would be too, frankly. Dire are scanning. So that's good. They have figured out that Rosh is being done, and just in time to boot. Got the shard here. Is that going to Void? No? Who? Oh, it was the OD. Did he actually use it? No, he passed it off to somebody else. Looks like Bristle's gonna take it. Yep, Bristleback gets that airball. Very annoying skill to have in conjunction with that axe.
Right.
Especially if you get some CD reduction on that thing. It can have a pretty big impact on fights. Pretty short order. Sparta again actually keeping the push up. While Panic is actually looking around their jungle, trying to find presumably Void. Find only really Vision here.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Ember and Axe coming in. Axe actually canceling his TB.
Middle tower is under attack.
Found Ember here, but he's just gone. But poor Ember, he's not actually going to be able to come back here at this point. He is across the map. Do they realize that? No, they don't. They're actually all pulling out for Medusa.
Yep.
Now that's, I think perhaps that might be a, How do I politely word what I'm trying to say here? This is gonna be tough. Cause I don't mean it angrily. You know, I don't mean this as a flame. But I don't know if everybody was watching. Everybody was kind of processing what Panic was doing there. Shoutouts to my alarm. I don't know if everyone was really processing what Panic was doing there. I feel like they had a pretty good opportunity to just hit T3. Probably just kill it too, fairly safely. I don't know if they really realized that in time, unfortunately. Just a little over concerned with what Medusa's up to. I mean, Medusa's about to get a T3 too, don't get me wrong, but I think it's probably at this point in the game, you know, they could get more damage done quicker. Could potentially even take 3 in a rack, actually. Especially with Medusa kind of being a little hesitant on going uphill herself. Just about watching the map, watching what people are doing and thinking about that sort of thing, I think. Ember Spirit just barely walking past a Meteor Hammer. He had no idea what was heading for him, I think. Bristleback has finished up the Heart of Trask. They did just find a... Oh boy, that could be very, very bad. A Penta-Edge Sword on the Dire there. Could do a lot, especially for Ember Spirit.
Right.
Of course, he has a Van Brace, and by God, nobody ever gives up the Van Brace, so you know. Or Magi getting hassled here. See, I'm getting quite a bit more hassled, though, that Glimmer Cape. Doing a good job keeping her cold. It's weird, because usually capes are supposed to do the opposite thing, right? But here we are. Or it'll make you look intimidating, which is really, I think, what they end up getting used for more often than not. Oof. It's a little tense out here. I'll say this much, Sparta, doing a lot of time on the field right now. I'm not exactly sure what they're waiting for here. That Aegis timer is actually almost out. I've actually almost dropped it entirely. Axe catches out the OD this time, but immediately finds some opposition in his face. Mutual BKBs. Medusa just going to town on the OD as Void grew up to solo Chrono on the Ember Spirit. Bristleback still enthusiastically chasing this, but without that BKB, man, he just can't do anything about Disruptor. He's pulling in the pipe. I do think the pipe's going to be... Well, no, I don't think the pipe's going to be that good here, actually, funnily enough. Aegis goes down, I believe, literally almost last second there. Void is back up, but he's not in the greatest spot in the world. Echo Slam, I believe that was Echo Slam on literally one target. Unfortunate for him, as Medusa just completely cleans house here. Nobody can stand up to the damage.
Oh boy.
And that's it's Culling Blade. Ha! Axe getting
Nice.
solo killed by the Ogre Magi. That's
kinda
very
funny.
sad.
Dress warmer next time.
Ooh,
A very bloody
that
fight.
was everything
Bloodier
you
for
don't want to
Sparta than
see.
was for Panic.
Everything you don't want to see if you're this is Sparta, especially losing the 6v5 there. Losing the 6v5, losing 6. Nobody walked away. It might have been too early to call dramatic defeat for Sparta earlier, but now certainly I feel like it's a very grim prognosis here. It's very hard to see. Silver Edge coming up on the Medusa, that could be very interesting here.
Yep.
It's very difficult to see. Yep. Very difficult. Finding a path for them to do something about this. Interestingly, not going for T3s here. I guess they'd just rather farm up in this free time.
Yeah, and the later the game goes, the worse it gets for Sparta, so it doesn't really matter.
What do you do here? Is there a plan?
Haste!
I don't know. Really don't know. I mean, they needed to win more than they did early, and they arguably didn't really win at all early.
Right.
So
They had some successes, but it wasn't what they needed.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
Once again, Earthshaker. Caught by the axe
that's
here.
weird. Hello. Do you have a
Wait.
response this time?
Void comes in, though, immediately just kind of gets,
It's Gleep near to
Yep. gets, hit up there. BKB comes out on Jackie Chen. Actually, a bit early.
Ember's making this so difficult.
Yeah. They're making it just as difficult for him, though. Void really desperately wants a Chrono here, but the last second, that disruptor.
Called.
That
Oh, the
sucks.
call into the disruptor ult.
That sucks
That's
big
nasty
time.
stuff right there.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Bristleback's still alive here. Bristleback has so much HP, though.
Radiant's turret has been killed.
Axe dies trying to kill him. Looks like Ember might die too. Nope. Well-timed CM ult stops that from being the case. Ogre Magi running for his life. Oh, Earthshaker actually. I believe he bought. Coming in, but no avail. Just kind of gets sniped out by the Medusa here. You're gonna have to buy, right? Either buy or it's over. I'm gonna glyph, at least buy them that kind of time. See if maybe that'll turn them around. Equilibrium is bad. They're waiting an hour for the next wave to come in. Ember Spirit going home for a minute. This would be very convenient in daily life, right? The ability to do that.
Is under attack.
Like imagine, for example, never having to use a public toilet ever again for the rest of your life.
Sure.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Very casually eating up a T3 here. The Medusa really not confident about finding the Void. Chrono is still up. He was not able to get
Yeah,
it
it
off in
is.
the last fight. They're just pulling out here.
Upfilling against Chronosphere. Always a pretty hairy concept.
Right. Boy, looking at Ember Spirit again here. Ember Spirit just annoying him in return. Just showing him all the various ways he can CC Void. Oh, barely with the call there.
Yep, happens.
We're still actually in a bit of danger here. Not really gonna care too much. Void doing a good job just buying space. Nobody wants to get close to him, so Void can just kind of be wherever he wants.
Right.
Ember's actually looking at this with a little salivation in his mouth, but the Earthshaker
Oh,
kind of
boy.
puts into that. Ogre Magi just very casually gonna eat it here.
That's a
Bristleback
lot of
just
pain.
trapped in the, just eats the entire Disruptor ult, then eats Medusa. All of Medusa's damage, and he cannot stomach all of that, and he just goes down. Casual ult from the OD takes out Disruptor there. Hard to say it's going to make too much of a difference. OD very low. Actually has Invis something.
They're all buying back. This is it.
Might just been his weird little tags there. Well, no, because he doesn't have the shard actually, so I'm not really sure why it was Invis. Do a trade or something? No? That was strange. Maybe that was a replay bug and he wasn't really invis. I don't know. Or maybe that's like Glimmer. No Glimmer Cape even. So what was the deal? That was weird.
Who knows?
Am I stupid or something? Like, what's going on?
Invisibility.
Sparta taking a look at the Rosh pit here. Chris is AFK. And Chris is almost dead. Axe barely in for the save, but he's not going to be able to save very long.
Oh boy.
So, they don't have the vision or desire to chase through Glimmer here. Axe in a very nasty spot for them in the middle of this fight.
Boy.
Void just run over. That's a dieback for him, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
OD and Bristleback running for their miserable lives. OD actually going to try and TP out here.
A little successfully.
Yep.
So there's that.
You know, they say if you chase two rabbits, you'll lose them both. They kind of split up to chase both OD and Bristle there and got neither of them. Man, the river looks gross right now. Looks like it's just paint. Flashback to Super Mario Sunshine over here. Super Mario Sunshine. Panic at the Rosh pit. Panicking in the Rosh pit. Well, actually, they're looking pretty calm right about now.
Yeah.
Easy slot for this for Medusa here. Likely just going to give them what they need to finish out the game. You know, it's really hard to
I
imagine.
give it the trash boat.
Think so? I mean, could be. He does have
I
a
don't
slot
think this is
right.
global. Yeah.
Falling to the dire.
Got the Aegis coming out of this real quick. Notably, Big Boy also actually on his buyback as well. Let's see some statuses. Yeah. It's a resounding no.
Only
Everybody.
buybacks are, only buybacks are panic players.
Yep. OD actually is close to his. He just needs some money.
Yep.
She might get here. Who knows? That would be very convenient for him. Even now, the Panic's still really not very willing to go uphill here. Gonna take a lot for them to want to do this. Should certainly be good if you had a later game team than them, considering this attitude. Earthshaker. Just, again, making things annoying here. Medusa actually has enough damage at this point to just shatter towers here. Look at this thing die. Look at this thing die and she's not even getting touched for it. Yeah, at this point, Medusa's just starting to look like an inevitability. Axe gets a
Oh,
call in
no.
on Bristleback here. Oh, but that Chrono's so
Chrono.
good, but he doesn't want to go! He doesn't want to go,
Can't
why
kill the Medusa's
not?
ulted.
Alright, he doesn't have BKB. Oh, he does, it was just down. What do you use it for? It's a very good question there. Jackie is back.
Radiant's bottom barracks are
We're at very low here, but just not quite gonna get him. This Medusa just finishes off the
Okay.
Rex here. Pretty solid Echo,
That's good,
but
there's no follow-up.
yep. Ooh, that could have been good
Oh,
follow,
he
but it just
dodged.
barely whiffed.
Ember
And
dodged
that's
the
the
OD
call.
ulti.
That's the call, that's the game.
Ember dodged the OD ulti with Slay of Fist. It was actually sick.
Radiant's bottom
Alright.
I'm
And
gonna
that's the
pretend that
ballgame.
was on purpose.
has fallen.
The time
Right.
is coming.
Dire victory.
They're trying to kill me. They are trying to kill me indeed. Resounding victory for Panic at the Rosh pit there. Started off relatively well for Sparta. They had some good signs there. But I think, I mean, well, I've got a personal game theory, but we'll have to wait until the next time to hear that. So, see you then. Any thoughts before we close out, Randy?
Nothing in particular. Good Slate dodge.
Well,
That's
think
it.
of something.
I did. Good Slate dodge.
Well, think of something more than that.
Thought
More
I
substance.
wouldn't notice. But I did.
You thought I wouldn't notice, trash boat?
Yeah. Your 6 Slate dodges
Try-
were probably by accident.
Trying to get one past Randy. Well,
Yeah.
nothing gets past him, by God. Not until the next match, anyway.
But you know what? Everything's on purpose.